to the Now Morning Show. Now, the closing ceremony of the Commonwealth Youth Games signaled the end of 6 days of intense competition. And of course, TNT walked away with 15 medals, gold, silver and bronze. And so this morning, we're checking in with the Minister of Sport and Community Development, the Honorable Shamfa Kojo, just to get her thoughts on the recently concluded Commonwealth Youth Games and what we see for the future of sports in TNT. Minister Kojo, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Now.
Good morning to the Now family. Good morning to all of Trinidad and Tobago. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Minister, thank you so much for joining us. And first of all, 15 medals. I believe that we ended at number 7th on the table. Just wanted to get your initial thoughts on how we performed at the 2023 Commonwealth Youth Games.
Well, I must say I'm most pleased by the performance of our athletes. They are the true heroes of this entire initiative. This is our best performance in the Commonwealth Youth Games since the inception of the Games. This is the 7th edition. And we we earned 7th place, 15 medals, number 1 in the Caribbean. So I think that is something to be really proud of. And I salute our athletes, the entire sporting fraternity, for the hard work put in and for having that confidence in youth. In some of our sporting disciplines, the focus is more on the senior teams, but the Commonwealth Youth Games forces us to place laser focus on the youngsters, ages 14 through 18. And I must say they came, they showed up, and they showed out. And Trinidad and Tobago, we are all indeed very proud.
Yeah. Minister, I know that people have been labeling this one as historic since we had the introduction of the para-athletics program. I mean, how does it feel to also be a part of that one as well?
I feel ecstatic. Sport is about more than medals. It's about challenging people to do their very best, to be their very best, and to help develop good morals and values and characteristics. And that's all about including para athletes in this Commonwealth Youth Games for the first time. We did that as a means of promoting inclusiveness. And this is the very first time it has been done. I think this Games mark first for so many different things.
Yeah.
The first time the Games are being held in the Caribbean. First time Trinidad and Tobago is hosting a multi-sport activity. First time introduction of para-athletics. The first time the Commonwealth Youth Games or the Commonwealth Games have seen a wheelchair accessible podium built by the URP of Trinidad and Tobago. I think that is something we ought to be very proud of. And it's the first Commonwealth Youth Games since COVID. As you know, COVID had put a major damper on sport throughout the entire world. And at one point in time, we were wondering whether these games were going to happen at all.
Yeah.
So to actually have the games and for it to be a success, not only for Trinidad and Tobago, but the Caribbean and the Commonwealth, I think it's a feather in the hat or a real big plus for the people of Trinidad and Tobago in being host of these games this time around.
Of course. Minister, let's talk figures for a minute. I know a lot of people were concerned about the budget in terms of if the ministry was able to keep it under budget as we hosted all these nations and also had that doubling, open in Trinidad and closing in Tobago. Were we able to stay under budget?
As you know, this is a partnership with the Trinidad and Tobago Commonwealth Games Association. When they came to us, the government, they requested $35 million and we made that allocation. $30 million this year and $5 million next year. Since the games are happening at the end of the fiscal year, we expect some of the bills to go into next year. So far, we haven't received $30 million in bills from the CGA. So far, they've spent about $20 million. And of course, we expect a couple more bills to come in by the end of the month. But we are operating within budget. And I'm pleased that that has happened because, you know, that's a major challenge. I know for the Commonwealth Games Association, the type of support they had expected from private sector, they didn't receive. But we as government, we have done our part in providing the full request that they had, the full amount that they had requested from us.
Yeah, and Minister, I know it is maybe a little bit too soon to tell, but I know that you were on the ground
Hmm.
seeing this type of movement. Can we talk about the
Yes.
economic impact as well? All eyes were on us, and I think we did a fantastic job in that aspect. But in terms of economic impact, did we have more people staying at the hotels, for example? Did we see currency coming in? Can you speak a bit about that one as well?
I think it's too soon to get the big picture, but the economic impact, I would say, has been positive. Here we are in the midst of our low season as it relates to tourism. Uh, Over 5,000 room nights over the period August 4th to 11. Those rooms have to be serviced, linens to be laundered, food to be provided. I know caterers got good business at this point in time in providing meals for over 1,800 volunteers, 1,000 athletes, 500 officials. The maxis and the buses were in full operation. So I think the economic activity had been very significant and impactful. And this goes to show the importance of sport as a development tool, not only for personal development, but for professional development, economic diversification, and promoting business activity. Many small businessmen got the opportunity to sell their food and to sell their products and to provide services. I think another plus coming out of these games would be the volunteers. We had over
Mm-hmm.
1,800 volunteers who really gave up their time and their talent, and they were hands on. And I think they are the lifeblood. They were the lifeblood of these games, going over and above the call of duty each and every single day. And I think that helps us to reintroduce in sport and in so many other activities in Trinidad and Tobago that spirit of volunteerism.
Yeah. Minister, two quick questions. My first of the two will be, of course, prizes. I mean, has the ministry decided how we are going to fully thank these athletes who really, really made us proud at this year's showing?
Well, as you know, in 2017, our government introduced the rewards and incentive framework. And what that does is provide a structured means of providing support or rewards and incentives for athletes who have medaled not only at World Championships, Olympics, Pan Am Games, and Commonwealth Youth Games, also at Special Olympics. So at the end of this month, we intend to give those checks to the athletes who would have earned their medals, and you get monies for each medal. So we are going to be awarding our Special Olympic athletes, because you know our Special Olympic team did very well earlier this year, and we'll also be rewarding our Commonwealth Youth Games athletes. Hopefully by that time, we'll know what the results are for World Championship, which take place in Budapest later on this month, and we could do it all at once.
Yeah. And in addition, Minister, quickly, in addition to what's taking place in Budapest, anything else we should look forward to on the calendar, and how can this shape or even kind of give us some sort of showing in terms of the future of sport in TNT?
We are in the business of hosting. We're in the business of promoting Trinidad and Tobago as a sport tourism hub. Over the years, our governments have made significant investment in upgrading our facilities and working with international federations to develop our facilities as development hubs for the Caribbean. Like we have done in making the National Cycling Center UCI accredited, or World Cycling Center, the only one in the Caribbean. So we are hosting different training events and so on. We go from hosting Commonwealth Youth Games. You would note that we also were hosting the Davis Cup for tennis. We go straight into hosting CPL, the biggest party in
Yes.
sport,
Yes.
from September 5th, 6th, 9th, 10th. Trinidad and Tobago would be abuzz with activity. And there are many different sporting disciplines that are hosting at this point in time, and we are providing support to them now through the end of the year. And it's nothing new to us. We just continue to make it bigger and better and ensure that the economic impact is significant and meaningful to the people and the economy of Trinidad and Tobago.
Minister, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Congrats to you and your team. I think job well done. And we look forward to see CPL and other things on our calendar. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. My absolute pleasure. Have a wonderful day.
You too, Minister. And that was the Minister of Sports and Community Development, the Honorable Shamfa Cudjoe, just giving an overview of the Commonwealth Youth Games and the sort of impact that the games had on us here.